right? He's going to play opening night on TNT.
They gonna
Can
dump
you
it to him in the
imagine
post.
Shaq trying to say, "Big fella, you need to get your ass in the post, big
Yes,
fella."
yes.
And it's another edition of Hoops Adjacent on the Athletic NBA Show. And keep in mind, y'all, we're now on YouTube, the Athletic Basketball Show. Check it out. We get episodes. This will be up there on Wednesday. Our man Marcus Aldridge, that's my cousin Marcus. My man Marcus Thompson with the salty 49ers.
Play cousin. I'm in the building, DA.
Oh, damn, you in the building. Damn.
They just had locker room clear out day, and I don't know why. I didn't think about it, but I grabbed a red hat that said victory. So I was low key trolling the whole franchise in there. It was inadvertent, but it was classic.
All right, so I had to take a shot at your boy Shanahan. How are you going to be blocking Hassan Reddick with a tight end, man? What's up with that?
Not. It's worse than that. He didn't just block it with a tight end. He actually has a tight end who could block that dude. His name is George Kittle.
Right.
That wasn't the tight end.
That wasn't the tight end.
That wasn't the tight end.
He didn't get the assignment.
You know how coaches are, man. They have a package, dude. They have a package.
Right.
And we're going to run our package. And yeah, there might be this otherworldly pass rusher this time when it's normally just like a regular dude. So we're going to run our package, man. This is the package. We call the play. This guy runs out. Nobody was like, hey, wait a second. Hold on. It's somebody different over there. That literally cost them the season. That's
what I'm saying, man. Like that wasn't just like I'm going for it on 4th and 1. That was catastrophically bad decision making that ended any chance they had to get into the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's literally what it cost them. Like it literally cost them a Super Bowl bid, right? That's crazy. 6 plays into the game.
Right.
Tyler Croft.
I'm not even mad at him. That would be like asking me. That'd be like asking me to lift 600 pounds. I can't do it. All right. Like there's some things I can't do. That's one of them.
I'm sure he feels like he could have made that block. It's just Hassan Reddick. It's just,
I'm not mad at the dude at all.
Reggie White or nothing.
Right. I'm not even mad at that dude. Man. All right. Let's get our guest in here, man. We wanted to make sure we had somebody that knew what they were talking about. So we went into the playbook. We found our guy, Bastien Fontanieu. He is the co-founder of the hottest hoop site in France, TrashTalk.co. Is that what I got that right, Bastien?
Oh, you can say Trash Talk. It's fine, man.
Trash Talk. I like how you named it Trash Talk from the beginning. I like that. So,
gotta give the people what they want, man. That's how it is.
All right. Well, man, we wanted to talk to you specifically about Victor Wembanyama. As you know, everybody in the world, but especially here in the States with the NBA folks, just, the ones that hadn't seen him before, when he came here and they played Ignite in those 2 exhibition games last fall, just got blown away. But his season's been going on. He's playing for the Metropolitans, 92 this year. And so we wanted to get your take on how he's doing so far and what the translation will be. He's obviously going to be the number 1 pick. There is zero doubt about that. He's going to be the number 1 pick in the draft, no matter who takes. No matter
I don't know.
Come on,
man. No world about.
All I'm saying is apparently Scoot is playing in the Legends game and the All-Star, and I mean not the Legends, the Rising Stars game. I don't know. What if he scores 60 and wins over?
Then he'll be the highest scoring number 2 pick in history.
I can bounce back on this though, Marcus, because when there were the 2 games in October, it was the first press conference for Victor in the US, and he was asked about Scoot Henderson, and he was like, "Yeah, that guy's pretty good, but he would be number 1 pick if I was never born."
I do remember he said that.
That's what he said. That's what he said, straight up.
Listen, we got to keep some level of suspense going, like a modicum. Can we just keep one little ounce? Can we Can we not know? Like,
you want this to be like draft day when my man takes Vontae Mack and on the sneak? Nobody knew.
The draft don't even matter. It's all about the draft lottery. I mean, we're done. Man. We're done in May at this point.
Right. So Bastien, what he's playing for Victor Collet, who's like a legend over there, coached the Olympic team in France, and it's really been one of the main reasons why why French national team has really come on the last few cycles and will, is going to be a factor going forward for some time to come. What's the coach trying to get him to do? How's he showcasing him, showing not only trying to win the game they're playing, but also kind of showing NBA scouts his whole game?
I think the top priority was freedom, because he didn't start at Metropolitans. He was last year with the Tony Parker club as well, and he didn't have that much playing time, that many responsibilities. So I think the first thing that was hand in hand between the family, the coach, the agency was give him as much freedom as possible. He has to work out. He has to face single, double, triple coverage. So he's been given really the freedom to just try different things. And we see all these different moves that end up on all those highlight pages and everything. But I've seen him up close, and you can see that if they were losing, it would be an issue, but they're actually second in the whole competition in France. So he's been trying everything, and the coach Vincent Collet, as you mentioned, he's gonna have him for the French national team. So I think it's a hand-in-hand partnership where they feel like he has a few months to start doing things that he's gonna face real adults in the US. So that's how I see it.
So can you explain for our listeners, like, what lab was this guy created in? Like, what?
That's
like, how does this happen?
So yeah, I mean it's really crazy, and you guys haven't seen him in person yet.
Not
right?
in person, no.
Not in person, no.
I mean, we've all seen some guys, and you've seen plenty. I mean, DA, you've seen everyone. We've seen some guys here in France, and he's different. He's more in the Kareem mood, where you see those really, really tall giant people. And so I think it's important to remember that his father is actually 6'8", and he's been in sports, triple jump for a whole lot of years. And his mom was playing basketball, and she's my height. She's like 6'3", and so
his granddaddy played hoop too, right? Didn't his grandfather hoop?
Yeah, as well. So first and foremost, he's from a sports family. That's the first thing. His tall sister, his big sister, she's playing basketball. She played with the French national team. His younger brother, he's as well playing sports. So I think it's a mix. How do you say it? He's a winner of the genetic lottery, that's for sure, because he got all those things aligned. But I think the most important thing, and I wanted your guys' take on this, is we see some freaks coming out sometimes in the draft, but they have this kind of growth spurts where they're like 14, and all of a sudden they get big. Like we seen with AD, and this guy was like a point guard, and all of a sudden he's like a center and a power forward. I mean, Victor was like 6'1" at 10. He was 6'1" at 10, and he was, so as you always say, and we've been able to talk about this, it's not a surprise, his body. He's been in his body this way for a long time. So when you see him talk, he's like, I grew about 1 inch in the last 2 years, because he's always been tall. So he was the tallest and the tallest. So it's not one of those guys that kind of has to learn how his body feels. He's good at running. And one quick story, his father really early on saw the potential and how good of an athlete he could be. So he taught him how to walk and run. And these are the fundamentals. I mean, you guys talk about the Zion and everything. Sometimes it's just the walking. It's weird. So he's a winner of the genetic lottery with a family that's in sports. And he's from the lab for sure.
I mean, I hear you, right?
Go ahead.
I hear you. I got it. Genetic lottery. He plays in sports. That might produce an NBA player.
Yeah. That's
not what we're talking about, though. Like, I watched this dude hit a 1-foot 3-pointer in transition. Like, was his like childcare watching Steph Curry videos? Like, how is this dude? He's already a bit of a basketball genius.
Yeah, I think I'm probably going to ask this to DA, because we cover sometimes the history of the NBA from our parts in France, and you've known so much history, but the closest thing that I can see physically is probably some things that I've seen from Ralph Sampson. that's as close that I can see.
I've heard
from someone.
other people have said that, made that comparison to Ralph. Because remember,
Yeah.
Ralph didn't get to do what Ralph really could do, which was stand outside and shoot. Like, he was good at it. You know, he didn't have this guy's range, but nobody had this guy's range 40 years ago because nobody took those shots. You know,
That
but
was
yes,
impossible.
I've heard other scouts and people that saw Ralph, and I saw Ralph at watching him. I wasn't covering the league then, but yes, a lot of people have said this guy is what Ralph Sampson would have been if he had been allowed to just be himself instead of having to go inside and try and post up and do things that he wasn't really good at. So yeah.
I was thinking Joe Barry Carroll in that. No, I'm just playing.
Nah.
I was just joking. I'm
joking. How could you, of all people, say Joe Barry Carroll?
That's why I said it.
It's such a phenomenon, man, because we've seen some freaks, man, and even the arrival of even Porzingis, when he came in, we were like, what's going on? Like, he's running and jumping and all that stuff, but it's kind of a fragile type of body. So he's one of a kind. And I always thought that we were blowing too much into prospects, but we're going to talk about him in details because I was really, and thank you so much again, DA, for the invitation, but he's the absolute total package, because I think the biggest misconception that is done today is that people focus on all these athletic and physical things, but that guy he's got this.
It's the genius part of it.
He got it all. He's actually like he can draw, like he's a drawing like kind of genius. You give him a pencil and a paper, and he's gonna draw.
Freehand,
yeah. And he's smart. He's talking English like he was. I mean, it's everything is easy.
That's amazing. Plus, didn't he play handball when he was a kid?
I think maybe he did because he's sports family, but his younger brother had a really interesting early handball career, I would say.
Yeah. So let's get into the whole thing. I mean, because people here, you know, that do follow, you know, the game overseas, maybe don't know why he would leave Asheville, because everybody plays at Asheville, right? That's the spot. Tony Parker played there. Batum played there. Everybody played there. That's the training ground. That's the program that you play in if you're a French player. But like you said, he didn't get playing time last year before he got hurt. And I just wonder, how could they have a kid like this that they know is going to be the #1 pick in a couple of years and not play him? I don't understand that. What happened there?
It's a mystery. It's how you guys have done it before me. It's in process. I think we are gathering information to try to understand what is going on. I think it's a question of sometimes of power. I think sometimes players, just like Tony Parker and others before, they like to have a total control about what is going on. And I think the best way to let this guy be who he is not to have control, is to give him the freedom. So I think there was some clash behind this, but I cannot like confirm this and break news and everything. But I think the whole leaving the team has been based on the lack of freedom for this. So a lot of people have talked about this, but in the end, it was best for him and his family, and it was the right choice.
Now, the skill and like basketball IQ, like really jumps off the page for me. But I'm curious, what is the potential for his body? Like, we saw Giannis come in, and he was clearly skilled, and it was like, man, if this dude gets a body, and then he got this incredible body, and we saw what happened. Is it because he's an inside-outside player? Maybe you don't want too much of that, or can we expect to see him like just become this physical specimen without maybe sacrificing some of that perimeter game, but also being ready to bang in the NBA?
I think the mistake would be to put on some weight. I think it's been stated a few times, either from the team or if you listen to Holger Geschwinder, who was the Dirk Nowitzki's skill coach, absolute legend,
right?
And who worked with Victor Wembanyama, and he was like, please make sure that this guy is out from the whole pushing weights and everything, because if he does this, then the temptation is there. But I think it would be a mistake. I hear the comp with Giannis. It's more a KD thing. I think when we saw KD coming in, we were like, oh my God, this guy is so skilled. but he's lanky, he's slender man. We don't know, he's the Slim Reaper. But we never, I think it was to his disadvantage if KD would have like put on some real weights. He got stronger, I think we can say, but he always stayed skinny to stay that mobile. So I think if I had to put a scale, he would be more on the KD fold than on the Giannis fold, because Giannis is a power player. He's a guy who's good. He's going to go at you, and he's more Shaq than KD. I think Giannis. So I'm not going to say that he's going to stay skinny because he's going to get some weight, but I think when he's going to be at his peak, 28, he's probably going to be like lanky, skinny, more KD type.
So DA, how is this going to work in a league full of old guys who feel like, hey man, you're 7'4", you need to get your butt inside. Like,
yeah, but you know
like
what?
how are they gonna adjust to this, or like how is this gonna work?
That battle's over, man. You know that. It's over. That battle.
Ask Joel Embiid if it's over.
Yeah, but even but Joel is 280. You know.
Yeah.
It ain't never gonna be 280. You know, Joel can go inside and get his. This kid ain't never gonna be able. I don't think he'll ever be able to do that effectively. He can do that off a brush screen or something like that. I mean, he can do it in transition, of course. Maybe a quick duck in every once in a while, but you don't want a steady diet of him trying to back somebody down. That's not his game. You know, like that's what's crazy about this dude's game. And you mentioned it, Marcus. He's shooting 1-footed 3-pointers. Like he practices that. Like that's not like he does that easily. He's got range out to like 28, 29 feet. Easy, effortless threes, you know, and you have to utilize that, I think, in some way. But again,
the NBA, you underestimate the NBA, and they have one of the main players trying to get them to do what they can't do.
I don't think like can you imagine opening night? Because he's gonna play opening night, right? He's gonna play opening night on TNT.
Can
you imagine Shaq trying to say, "Big fella, you need to get your ass in the post."
Yes,
big fella,
yes, yes, I can.
And he's going to do. Yes. He's going to call him a casual, just like my man did last year.
But I think it's funny though that you say that, DA, because I think one of the things that people cannot really get prepared for is that he can be one of those we're going to change the game types. So he's going to put a lot of people in uncomfortable situations as far as what they saw and thought about basketball for so long. Just like you saw maybe some old heads when they saw like the Warriors coming with, they were like, you can't win a championship with jump shooting. This guy has the potential to say like, oh, so that's how it was played. Like, let's try this way. So it's just when you talk about Shaq, yeah, he's gonna be the first to say like, what can I say? go to the rim, because and that's one of the temptations that I was talking to you about, DA, in private messages. People are going to go at him for the fact that he's 7'4" and that he can stand this, like that far from the hoop. That's going to be a topic for sure.
Yeah. No, there'll be an adjustment for sure, but I don't think it's going to take him that long because, like Marcus said, he knows how to play. That's the thing. Like he's not learning how to play basketball. He knows how to play. You know. So let's talk about the league that the Metropolitans are in. It's not the top league in France, correct?
It's the top league in France, but it's not the top league in Europe.
Yeah. Okay. I apologize for that, but to me, this is similar to Giannis when he came in and was playing for a good but not great league, right? And so, what's the level of competition? How are they helping him prepare for the jump next year?
Well, I think it's solid. I think it's okay. It's not as good as what we see in Spain, for example, or in other countries in Europe where you had like Luka Doncic was 16. He was with Real Madrid and he was kicking ass at Real Madrid. And that's, to us in Europe, we were like, oh, wow. Like the last guy who probably did this was like Toni Kukoc, maybe, who was like really, or Drazen Petrovic, who was like killing everybody in the best league. So in France, I think it's all right, but it's not the top one. I think he's getting prepared just for the fact that he's facing really, as I was saying, like adult bodies. I think this is the most important thing. He's facing adult bodies and he's facing half-court presence. As you guys know, in the NBA, it's so spread out. I think one of the biggest debate that we have for the last few years is that as soon as Luka came in the NBA, he was like, it is much easier to score in the NBA than it is in Europe. And that's facts. Like, because when you see, I don't know if you saw Eurobasket, but like Giannis and Luka and Jokic, they had trouble because everything is not as spaced as it is in the NBA. So I think this is good for him, not as far as the level, but the setup, the setting of the game. And so he has to learn not only to just take the ball coast to coast and dunk on everybody, which is something that's going to happen in a few months, but he has to learn how to use 24 seconds. And in this regard, I think it's good for him.
So I'm gonna give you a story back in, I think it might have been 98 or something. I don't know. I was at a AAU tournament at UC Berkeley, and LeBron, his one summer playing for the Oakland AAU team, he was out there with Kendrick Perkins and Leon Poe.
Marcus,
and I just
why have you not written 5,000 words on this?
Yeah, I don't know. You've changed.
You have to write 5,000 words on that. Just what you just said.
I've been trying to get LeBron to talk to me about it for years, so it's coming.
Okay.
He's the last piece.
Right. Okay.
I just remember, like, he was 16 or something like that at the time, and everybody in the gym knew, like, this dude was next. Like, LeBron was it. They were there to see LeBron. When did that happen in France for Victor? Like, how early did they know that this dude was next?
I think a lot of people relate to Mike Schmitz in the US about like discovering all this and putting more highlights about this. I think we had a whole lot of emphasis about the U19 World Championship. I think we knew he would be the leader of the French team. We didn't know how far they could go, but when he basically looked at like Chet Holmgren, Jaden Ivey, all those guys, and he was like, I am the best on the floor right now.
He was better than Chet. It wasn't close.
And he wasn't even close.
It wasn't close.
And do you remember who was the best player from that team in the US?
Kenny Lofton Jr. was cooking.
Kenny Lofton, man. That's
Kenny Lofton was a problem. Yeah.
If you go to France and you see us publish articles on Kenny Lofton, he's gonna have more like reach and likes and articles than like some superstars. Because so I think when it was U19, that final game was huge because you could see the game live on the FIBA channel, I think for free, and we redirect a whole lot of people on this. And you could see like a 17-year-old kid just demolishing 19-year-olds, 18-year-olds. So that's how first people were like, "Oh my goodness!" It got a little bit like of hype about this, but it was more about his physical tools. And I think where everything just blew up is really the two Vegas games. I mean, in last October, to give you a quick story, last October, I had the opportunity to go to Vegas. I didn't to see the two games, but there was really a before and after, because after this, I swear, I take a taxi, a cab, like 10 days after, and the guy turns on the radio and he's like, oh, you work in basketball? Did you hear about the Kylian Mbappe of basketball? And I was like, that's it. If the cab driver can talk about this dude, like regular folks, if he can talk about this,
right? Yeah,
that's how things get out of proportion, I guess.
Yeah.
So DA, let me ask you a question. It sounds like that's pretty late from an American standpoint. Like we've been chronicling these dudes middle school, even like early high school.
It's a little late.
Is that
good
later for him? Is that good that he got it a little bit later, or is it not prepare him for what he's about to deal with?
Well, it's funny you mention that. It's funny you mention that, Marcus, because that's exactly what I was going to ask Bastien about, because I love what Bouna Enja, his agent, is doing, which is give it all to us. Throw everything you got at us. We got to get used to this. The media, the attention, we want all of it now. Throw it. He's not going to come in and be shy and retiring and not do interviews and not do media. And I just wonder how calculated that was, from his camp to say, throw it all our way, because he's ready for it. He can handle it because he's that dude, right? Like he's that next dude.
That's exactly why. I think it's because they know that he had the shoulders and the head to face this. I think sometimes we put so much emphasis on the physical skills and the outlook of what a player could be, But I think I knew we were going to talk about this, and I was thinking that the other day. I think a lot of Americans saw like Luka coming in, and they were like, he's slow. We don't know, but he's one of the baddest MF right now in the world, and
No
that's
question.
right there.
No question. Yep.
And that's the thing that's inside of Victor's DNA and his mindset. So when Buna and Jeremy Medjana and the whole ComSport team, they saw this, I think that they saw a whole lot of potential, obviously, for their firm, for the agency, but they also knew that it was great for him because they've seen Ivan, they've seen Jan Mahimi, DC legend, I can say, David Aldridge.
Right.
Did he just drop a Jan Mahimi?
He just,
Did
oh
he
my
just do
God.
that? Oh,
Gave
wow.
me some
That
Mahimi
shit.
memories.
Wow.
I'm giving you Kevin Seraphin memories as well.
I was,
guess.
Seraphin was actually not, Seraphin was all right. Seraphin played for a couple years. He did all right.
I think they saw all those players coming in, and you have to have some kind of it's a different way of doing things. Nicolas Batum, for example, was a part of that whole squad, and he doesn't have the same mentality. He's a great teammate, but he's team first, and he's like not shy, but
right. But that's not his. He's not a yeah.
You have to have a certain type of way of personality to handle this. So I think it was really a good calculators from Buna and his team, because they knew that he had to get tough skin, and that Victor sometimes can get what I call sometimes some kind of a Wilt Chamberlain kind of stereotype, which is when you're that tall and that dominant, if people start to point at you and you're not tough skinned, it can rattle you. So I think the more criticism, the more family, the more surrounding, the more hype, the better it is, because he's not going to avoid it.
Hey, I need to remind you guys, I did cover the French Jordan. Let's not get it twisted. Mikael Petrus, baby. Yeah, let's go.
Who was playing the 5 with Don Nelson? He was a center.
Yes.
The 5, man.
The French Jordan, baby. Don't forget about
Air France, we call them.
Air France. That's right. Air France.
There you go.
Hey, what happened? Whatever happened to my boy that the Knicks drafted that Vince dunked on? Frederick Weiss. Whatever happened to that dude?
Actually, it's funny because I've seen him and we do some collaboration sometimes. He's commenting the French basketball for the league. So on the French TV, he's doing it. And he wrote a book actually lately about like what he faced, like depression and all this, because it was really tough. He was really he was the joke for so many years. So he's become actually some kind of an example of how to deal with this and not do bad stuff to yourself.
I am very good friends with the guy that drafted him, so I know the whole story about Frederick.
Yeah.
The whole backstory. So I want to ask you, what do you see when you watch Victor play? Forget the comparisons to whomever. What is he going to be able to do on night one in the NBA? Like game starts, balls tap. What does he do? What is he going to do to impact a game immediately at the NBA level?
The floor of Victor is possible, like all defense every year. That's the floor. That's the floor, because to have that kind of mobility and way of reading the coverages and the different matchups, and being able to use your hands and not like block and jump as the kids sometimes do. He knows how to use his fouls. I think there is a path where he's like, fuck it, I'm not gonna score.
It's a podcast, you can say that.
Yeah, I was like, he can say bleep it, and I'm not gonna score, and then he could be a defensive force right now, because he can switch 1 through 5 and he can cover the best of them. Obviously, when there is a Joel Embiid in town, he's gonna get hammered in the post, but I think that's the very least. And then I'm scared because of the openness of the NBA game. As I was talking about the Luka Doncic, I think he can be like a real cornerstone offensively. And it depends so much. We are really scared right now about the teams that are at the bottom of the standings, because he can be all that, but there's also a scenario where the wrong coach and the wrong management makes him one of those Miles Turners of the world. And I'm not gonna diss Miles Turner, but I'm just saying don't use as well what he is, and that would be absolutely horrible. So an amazing defender with the ability to just be a 20-point scorer first year. That's just the floor, I would say.
All right. So in honor of, you and, the content you create, how is Victor's trash talk? How's he gonna deal with, the inevitable Dylan Brooks or whoever is coming for him? Like, Draymond.
I don't think he's absolutely not the type of putting a forearm on someone and just saying like, don't, that's it. That's probably gonna play him sometimes, just like Dirk was when he came into the NBA. You could push him around, but don't be fooled by that face, man, because really when he said that Scoot Anderson would be a #1 pick if he was never born, and 24 hours later he put like 34, 17, and 5 blocks. When you can do this, I'm sorry, you can back it up. And when you can back it up, I think he's gonna do a little bit of trash talking, but it's gonna be more like, that too small thing. He's gonna do it to everyone.
I mean, you can say that to everybody. That's
right. He can do it to everybody.
That's not even fair. Right?
Except Gobert is the only guy he can't say it to.
Because if he won legs,
I want to see a young dude take him off the dribble and go too big. He's too big. He can't.
Right. So if he does a 1-leg 3-pointer in the face of like a Gobert or Jokic, he can do like the too small, because it's actually true. So he's good at trash talking, but he's also really well spoken. So I think he's more in this Steph kind of way. Like, you don't really see it, but he's actually doing it, like trash talking.
Yeah.
And then Steph gives you this.
So he wouldn't fit on the Grizzlies.
I don't think he's going to go to the sleep thing. But
so he wouldn't fit on the Grizzlies. He wouldn't just automatically start talking trash. You got to talk to him, and then he respond. Oh, okay. I kind of hoped he was more like Ja.
Just talking shit from minute one.
Oh yeah, and I don't think. I think he's more. I think Ja and Luka are at the very top. Like, they talk shit like every single second. But he's more. Well, he can be more in the. I wouldn't be surprised if he was a KD type, like the really like I don't know, I don't have the word, but it's how do you say, he's remembering stuff that you said 2 or 3 weeks ago, and now he's.
Oh yeah, that's the KD Steph mode.
Oh yeah. He'll spite it now.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, he'll remember.
Remember.
Today's show is brought to you by Chime. Visit chime.com/NBA show for more information. What's the first thing you do when you wake up? Is it checking up on your credit score? Yeah, I didn't think so. Well, at Chime, that's exactly what they do for you. With their secured Chime Credit Builder Visa credit card, you can start to build credit with your own money. Chime reports your payments to credit bureaus to help you build credit over time. Their members see an increase of 30 points on average. All of this with no annual fees, large security deposits, or credit checks to apply. So start your credit journey with Chime. Sign up, only takes 2 minutes, and doesn't affect your credit score. Get started at chime.com/NBA show. That's chime.com/NBA show. The Chime Credit Builder Visa credit card is issued by Stride Bank N.A. pursuant to a license from Visa USA Chime checking account, and $200 qualifying direct deposit required to apply for the secured Chime Credit Builder Visa credit card. Regular on-time payment history can have a positive impact on your credit score. Impact to score may vary, and some user scores may not improve. Out-of-network ATM withdrawal fees may apply, except at MoneyPass ATMs, in a 7-Eleven, or any Allpoint or Visa Plus Alliance ATM.
All right. So what teams do you think would not work for him, at the teams that are at the bottom right now? Because I'll tell you what, I'd be fascinated if he went to San Antonio, not because of the Parker thing. I'd just like to see how Pop coaches him. I would just be curious. Like, what do you do with him? I don't know.
That's my pick, and because they don't have that much. No disrespect to Devin Vassell and Keldon Johnson of the world, but he would be perfect for him. I would be scared if he went to the Rockets, because I think it's already a process for Alperen Sengun to have some kind of freedom with Jabari Smith. Yeah. I'm kind of scared to have a coach who's giving the ball to like shooting guards who are jacking up shit for like 48 minutes. I'm sorry. But I would be kind of scared. And People in France are fascinated by the LaMelo Ball Victor Wembanyama combo. With the Hornets.
Really?
Yeah. But
I can see that.
I would be more San Antonio, and I'm not a huge Dwayne Casey fan. As far as
Come on, you can't talk about my man Case though.
No,
That's my
I
guy.
know, but as far as driving a team, I would have some doubts. He's been really good at developing players, but I would put my money on the Spurs, and I would definitely not love the Rockets. That's
The Spurs. Let's see, they've been in the lottery 3 times in the last 40 years and got number one.
Yeah, they cannot get him. They can't do
why not?
it's a frozen envelope at that point. Like you get Tim Duncan, David Robinson, and come on, man.
Come on, that doesn't seem fair.
Yeah, come on. It's not.
It would be
You know where he needs to go. Come on, we all know where he needs to go.
Where's that?
Where
Go
is
play
he
with
going?
Steph. He's gonna play with
Oh,
Steph.
come on.
That's it. I want to cover a great one. I'm sorry. I want to know.
I'm sorry. Haven't you been covering a team for the last
I know.
decade?
I don't want to. Now you want me to go back? No. I need to
But
Want you to go back to Monte Ellis.
Yes. But there is this
Joe
whole
Carroll, huh?
there is the whole scary scenario of like the Lakers pick falling down, and then it ends up with the Pelicans,
With
and
New
that's the end
Orleans,
of the
yeah.
game. Yeah.
Oh, by the way,
You think that's good, right?
I'm not sure.
Really?
Oh, I
No,
think
because then
that would be
I mean,
stupid.
there's already
Stupid
Zion.
good.
You're a sidekick. Victor is not a sidekick.
So
oh,
I wonder where
he's saying, don't be calling him Ringo. You calling him
Does he-
Ringo.
I
Ringo
feel like wherever he
Wembanyama.
go, he's no longer the sidekick anyway. But it's only a matter of time. But does he play the positions or whatever? Can he play a perimeter spot and then you play a center with him, or he's gonna play center and you're just gonna have like a center who can be out on the perimeter? Like, how do you see him positionally in the league?
I wouldn't be surprised if he was a 4. I wouldn't be surprised if he was a 4 because of the banging, and I think we've seen some teams try to do the whole let's have like a bruising 5 who does all the nasty things that we don't want to do, and that guy's going to be on the perimeter and doing all these things. So I think he's going to be a 4, but he could be a 2 actually. Like he could.
I
be
know
a
that's
5
the thing.
and,
Like you can put him at
Dude,
two.
he-
Dude, did you see him coming off of pin downs? Like what? Coming off
you
of
can-
pin
saw-
downs.
That's
I saw
a
him
cheat code.
fading corner 3, bro. Like this dude is Klay Thompson. Like it's
I think that
unbelievable.
when we saw KD having all those curls like on early OKC, and he was like catching the ball at the free throw line and he was done. I mean, he could do this and that would be effective. So, and he could be a catch and shoot. But that's why I was telling you, DA, the only scary thing that I have personally, apart from the physical side, is what I call Michael Porter Jr. laziness, as I was telling you, which is you're talented, you're 7-something, don't stand like the entire game away from the basket. You got to go inside.
Yeah, I do wonder. Go ahead, Mark.
How is his? I mean, we've seen him against obviously players he's not better than, but get the ball in the wing, one dribble to the cup. How is that part of his game grown over the years? His ability to get to the rim and finish there through contact.
I think right now it's less finishing with the contact. I think what he likes is one dribble pull up because you can do anything. So, or he backs you down, he does a turnaround fade away. But he's gonna be more going to the basket on pick and roll situations where he's just puts his hands up and he's like, all right, just throw it up and I'll catch it and finish with contact. So he's not really, I'm taking the ball and I'm gonna do a full dribble and then putting my elbow on your chest and finish N1. He's gonna be more like, okay, I see this. Let me turn my back, and if I do right shoulder spin, fade away, I got the glass, so I can have an N1. This is more what he's doing. I'm not sure that he's gonna be Giannis this way, which is get the ball, dribble, go to the hoop, N1, everyone shut the hell up. That's Giannis in a microcosm. So I don't think he's going to be like this for Victor.
I do wonder if I was thinking about if he got to OKC, like could he and Chet play together? Is that possible?
Yeah. I think they could be 4 and 5s. I'm not sure. I'm not sure this will be perfect, but I have no doubts that they will be thrilled to have the two of them. So because both of them can defend on the perimeter. So what are you gonna do? I mean, it's the whole 7'4" wing, and we don't even talk about the wingspan because it's like 7'8" or 8 feet. I don't even know what's the wingspan is. So it's
insane.
I
This
can't
is
wait to find
insane.
out in the
This
combine.
is insane. that we're
I want him in
talking about
Orlando.
this.
I'm sorry.
Why?
Yeah.
Why
I
you want
want him in Orlando.
I could see that. Orlando would be great because
Yeah.
that would be good. I would like that too, Marcus. That would be ridiculous. What they might be able to do.
I'm really just already happy for you guys for the first time where you're gonna see him, because I think you remember the first time you see Victor play. I really do. I think it fades.
Well, I went out to cover LeBron's first game in Sacramento, and
yeah.
he's lived up to everything. Like he's lived up to
Exceeded.
everything.
Exceeded it even.
Exceeded.
It's just-
Yeah,
You talk-
it's crazy.
I think I've told this story before, and I'm not blowing any confidence now. Dumars is the first guy that told me about LeBron when he was 14. Because we were talking about the draft. This was like the 2001 draft, probably. So that would have been the Kwame Brown draft, I guess.
Yeah.
And I said, who do you think is going number one? And Dumars goes, it doesn't matter. And I'm like, what do you mean it doesn't matter? It's like, because the best player in the world is 14 years old and he plays in high school, and he just started high school in Ohio. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It's like, I'm telling you, he's the best player I've ever seen. He was 14 years old. So, and he lived up to all of it. He lived up to all of it. And I wonder, I mean, I hope Victor lives up to all of this, because there's not been anything like this since LeBron in terms of the hype.
Yeah, it's why people are shaking now in France, because they say, should we jump on the wagon, or are we making too much out of this? It's really putting people in uncomfortable places, because it pushes you to really believe to the fullest and jump on the wagon or not. I'm from those optimistic. I'm like, let's ride the wave, man. This is incredible. We're not going to see this for another 10, 20 years. So let's go. And I'm so confident in this kid that I think we see Marvel specimen physically, but they don't have it in their minds. They don't have it. He's got it. Like when you see Trey and Luka from the same draft, and they're like drafted after the Marvin Bagleys and all guys, and the DeAndre Ayton, because they're not as physically gifted. Right now, the debate is done. These guys have it. Like they have that edge. And so I think he has the ability to have that kind of hype. I think the more fascinating thing is that he has to fill some kind of Giannis shoes, which is global icon, because Steph is an American. I mean, Steph is a global icon, but he's from the US.
Right.
And I think Giannis is the real first. All right, Dirk, thanks. I'm just going to propel this to another level. Luka is trying, but I think Victor wants to fill this void.
Damn, he wants to be that dude.
Man, that's heavy, bro. That's heavy.
Damn.
That's heavy. That's a heavy thought.
Yeah.
Can he rap? I don't want to see him on no rap album. I already heard Tony rap. I don't want to tell him to cut that out already.
What was the Kobe one? What was the Kobe one? Oh God, it was so awful.
Tyra
Yeah,
it was so awful.
With Tyra Banks, bro.
It was horrendous.
Remember AI? I don't want tell him to cut that out.
With Jadakiss and all that.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Today's show is brought to you by our friends at Rocket Money. Visit rocketmoney.com/NBA show for more information. Did you guys know that the average person has like 12 paid subscriptions? Think about that. If you think you've only subscribed to a handful of services, you might want to go and double check. With Rocket Money, you can quickly identify and cancel all your unwanted subscriptions. Like, you know that streaming service you got just to watch that one TV show but you haven't used again? Well, with Rocket Money, you can cancel it very easily. Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill, is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. Over 80% of people have subscriptions they've just completely forgotten about. Rocket Money will quickly and easily identify the subscriptions for you so you can stop paying for the ones you don't want. Simply find the subscriptions you don't want and press cancel. Rocket Money takes care of the rest. Stop throwing your money away, cancel unwanted subscriptions, and manage your expenses the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/NBA show. That's rocketmoney.com/NBA show. rocketmoney.com/NBA show.
No,
Wow.
Cut that out.
he's
Don't do it.
he's more gonna play with a Rubik's cube than anything. He's that guy is when you see Giannis coming in sweat pants and just going to the gym, he's that mold. He doesn't care
Yeah.
about the whole GQ thing and all that. He wants to hoop.
Damn, I love this. I can't wait to
That's
see
right,
this
yeah.
guy. I can't wait to see this guy. I will go wherever he is for night one.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Wow.
I want to
Book
see
your
this
tickets
guy.
because we're gonna be a whole lot of us, man.
I know. Well, Bastien, I appreciate it, man. It's late where you are at, man, and I appreciate you staying up. I know you do this every night because you're young and you watch ball, and I appreciate that. I respect that, but it's still late. So I know you
well-
could have had other things to do on a Tuesday besides do this. So I appreciate it, bro.
Actually, I want to thank you so much because, as I told you, I mean, it's I grew up just watching you on the sideline and doing all kinds of different things. It's a moment to tell you that you give also kids like me really far in France the passion to do what they like, which is talk about basketball. So thank you for that invitation. It's just to send you back to what you gave to us.
I appreciate it, man. Hopefully we'll have you on before the draft. We'll talk some more about
Just hit me up. I'll be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to
Absolutely.
ask you about CD. How you say his name? CD Sissoko?
CD Sissoko.
Yeah, that's what I man. That's what we need to spend a pod talking about. Best player coming out of France since Mikhail Petrus. Let's go.
Yeah.
No, I want to do. I
I'll come
want
to
to
the
do.
US and we'll talk about him, Marcus.
I want to do an hour on Mbappe. That, good Lord,
Yo, Killian is there. That's my guy, man.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That dude's
That was a pleasure to watch him. I'm not no big soccer guy. That was a pleasure to watch.
Is he
him play
coming to
soccer.
Premier League? Is he coming to Premier League, or he staying in Paris? PSG.
No, man, no, he's staying in Paris. It's fine.
Did he
He's
resign?
staying in Paris. But the thing though, he's staying in Paris. I heard the pod where DA you were talking with Marcus about the whole final against Argentina, and we were amazed about his performance. But linked to Wembanyama, those two are really linked. They know that they are the face of sports in France for the next decade. And so Kylian actually he has how you say this, a company, like a video company. He wants to create content for the NBA. He's
Okay.
You can look it up. They signed a contract with the NBA to do
Okay.
some content. So don't be surprised if Mbappe and Victor are doing some stuff together.
Okay. We'll look for that.
I hope he
Appreciate it, man.
give Killian a too little.
Yeah. Too little.
Right. Oh. All right, y'all. Leave that 5-star review on Apple, Spotify, Google Play, wherever you get this fine American podcast. Hey, Marcus, man, if they can't leave them 5 stars, what they need to do?
Keep it to yourself, you haters. We'll make sure you never get to watch Victor.
Exactly. We'll make you block Hassan Reddick.
That's cold blooded. I'm not wishing death on him. I just don't want him to enjoy Victor. That's it. You wishing death on people. Blocking Hassan Reddick. Come on,
All right,
man.
we're out.
Cold-blooded.